detention center. There are several in Seoul, and there are rumors, unconfirmed rumors, that he is at a place called Seoul Nambu Detention Center.
Seoul
and if you look
Nambu?
on Kakao
Is this
map or
Dragon
Neighbor
Ball
map,
Z?
you'll just see a bunch of trees that are photoshopped in to hide it. But on Google Map, you can find it.
Yeah.
Seoul Nambu Detention Center. And so they keep you in this detention center for a week in case, because they want to see if there's going to be an appeal. You have a week to appeal. And if there is an appeal, they keep you there for the entire appeal. And
wow.
The detention centers are worse than prison, and they're worse than labor with prison with labor even. So he done played himself again.
Okay, wait. So he's not even doing.
I wonder if he's ever going to leave Korea. I wonder, because like he's the kind of person that will somehow get himself into even more trouble.
Actual prison time. He's just subtracting his detention time.
It's
the gift that keeps on giving.
This time in the detention center is going to count towards his prison time, but it's going to be worse and more boring and more physically grueling and more unpleasant than prison itself. It's sort of this purgatory, on your way to prison, and getting stuck there is one of the worst things that can happen. But he stuck himself there. Anyway, the prosecutor did appeal, so he would have stayed there anyway. And this is going to go on. If it goes according to the normal schedule, it'll start around September.
Yeah,
and mind you, he's supposed to get released in
what, like October-ish?
October, but because of the 20 days, maybe early November. I mean, early mid-November is when he is supposed to be released. But September is according to the timeline, around when the second trial will start. So he will be in detention until the trial begins and until the trial ends. So they're going to put him in another one. And then if either party appeals to the Supreme Court, which is also very easy to do, then he stays in the detention center also until that final appeal is done. But we're dealing with this appeal right now, this first appeal.
How do you do this to yourself? Really?
So, indeed,
this is embarrassing.
The lawyer was right when they were calling the first trial exactly that, the first trial. This is the second trial right now. Johnny's, I don't know what he's going to argue because he got a super light sentence. And, of course, it's obvious he doesn't even realize that yet.
He never will. He's stupid. You can't reason with a person like Johnny Somali. It's not like it's same. You can't explain to like a cat why the cat isn't supposed to get on the table. You can't talk to it and say, listen, the table, I want to make sure it's clean, and sometimes you're dirty, and so you might knock something off. You can't do that. People don't understand
prosecutor
this.
is going to fight this decision to give him an excessively light sentence, which I think is absolutely the right thing to do.
On brand? Yeah, I guess so.
I feel like I've been shocked throughout this entire case. And I also feel like Johnny has been playing the wrong move throughout the entire case. It's kind of like he had like an option game, like pick option A or option B, and he's always going with the worst option.
Yeah, because he's stupid.
I guess just to unlock the worst possible ending. So now he got off with an extremely light sentence, and he decides to appeal.
I want the Johnny Somali gets sent to North Korea ending,
which does not make sense. It just doesn't make sense whatsoever. So you do
First of all, because he's extending his own sentence. He was the one who took the initiative with the prosecutor.
Which does not make sense. It just doesn't make sense whatsoever. So you do
First of all, because he's extending his own sentence. He was the one who took the initiative with the prosecutor before the prosecutor even to extend his own sentence. So guys, 6 months. It's not going to be 6 months. That's guaranteed. The only question is how much more than 6 months it's going to be.
10 years.
Okay, so if he goes through this very long process now, and for example, let's say he gets 2 years, so is the detention time that he's doing all the way up until this, for example, alleged 2-year sentence, if that actually happens, would that be deducted from the prison sentence?
Exactly. It counts as time served. But again, that's not a bad thing because detention center is worse than prison, even with labor.
Wow.
Okay, so you would basically go out and say it's basically guaranteed that he's now going to stay in Korea for longer than 6 months and 20 days.
And it was all because he wanted to appeal? There are some people that free will is a curse.
Right.
It is a curse.
Wow.
Absolutely. It's almost 100% guaranteed. The only way that wouldn't happen is if the second trial finishes before
should have taken his lumps.
October or so.
Retard maxing,
which is unlikely but possible. Okay, so that's one scenario where he gets 6 months, but he would also have to win. The prosecutor would have to lose the case in order for that to happen. And we talked about the math, and we talked about the sentencing guidelines last time. Yeah. And this this light sentence is so obviously outside of the guidelines, like a extreme deviation from the guidelines, especially considering that the judge named very serious aggravating factors, that I don't see how.
I don't see how he only got 6 months either, honestly. Like, I think it should have been a lot longer, especially considering just how obnoxious and disrespectful he was the entire time. Like, you've got to make an example out of somebody, or more people are going to go to Korea and just do something that's a little bit not quite as bad, and they're going to do the same thing as him. That's the problem. That's what I think.
Again, now
they were being nice to him. They were.
Seen curveballs.
That's what you
coming
get.
Left and right.
Shouldn't have done it.
So nothing is guaranteed. But
big fucking mistake.
Having this trial end before October and having the prosecutor lose, both of those factors are not very likely. So we can pretty much count on him getting more than 6 months, and we can count on it being in a hellhole that's worse than prison with labor. So there you go.
So. Okay, who do you think is going to be the witnesses for this now? So, obviously, like, will they bring Bong Bong and Youngman back to the stand?
Koreans don't want to pay the fee and house them?
Because there is a very big problem with how the judge interpreted their testimony. Again, you and I were not in the room for the testimony, but we did hear enough corroborating testimonies of what they said to get a good idea of what they said.
Jesus.
And
he needs to plead guilty? Yeah, I know.
And Bong Bong has talked on her stream about what she said before she went to court and after she went to court.
That's the girl that he made the revenge porn of.
What the testimony contained, and nothing about it was very surprising, knowing her and knowing the entire situation.
Do you think that he'll ever learn? Does he have to be sent to the learning center? He will never learn. People like this never get it. I learned this whenever I played World of Warcraft, that there would be some people that you just couldn't teach them to move left. There's a level of stupidity that the average person doesn't even know exists. They don't even, they can't even comprehend it. Like, they hear it and they're like, there's no way that's even real.
But it definitely was not saying, oh, I don't care, there's no damage, I felt no shame whatsoever. She contradicts herself sometimes.
Yeah. But that was the interesting thing about her testimony, because as she was in the...
Exactly. Somebody said about the average IQ. Keep in mind, average IQs, what does the average mean? Half of them are lower than that.
Uber on the way to court, she just ran through her testimony. And then after court, she kind of ran back through her testimony and kind of told everyone what she was saying and everything. So
she told us what she was going to say. She said it, and then she told us what she said. So
it's crazy.
Yeah.
And so the detention center that he's currently in, you're saying it's worse than that.
Why? Why?
It's worse.
How do you think his life is going to be in prison there, or in the detention center before he goes to prison?
Andrew's actually going to be talking a lot about that on the stream, but what I do know is he'll be sleeping next to the toilet, which is a hole in the ground.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, that's not ideal.
Oh boy.
Okay, and then I guess I have another question as well, because if they decide to bring back Bong Bong and Youngman as witnesses, does that mean they're going to space out the trials by at least 2 months, like they were doing with the other witnesses for the trial that we just witnessed?
Oh, that's really bad.
They tend to do that in first trial when people are when there's somebody who pleads not guilty, when a person pleads. But that's a good question. Let me take a look at some precedents here and see how.
Can they live stream this now? They should. They absolutely should. That'd be a great idea.
Do you think there'll be any other witnesses than Bong Bong and Youngman to this trial?
That is possible. Usually people use the second trial as an opportunity to call another witness. I just don't know who it would be. I have no idea who it would be. So it's possible, but I don't know who it would be that would help his case. We also do not know. We don't know what his argument's going to be. I mean, we do know it's going to be ridiculous, but we don't know what his argument's going to be. But he could have his argument for against his sentence. Whatever it is, maybe that could involve needing to call another witness, and they'll allow him that chance, and it will extend the trial, and that's great.
It's over.
I would assume that his argument's probably going to be the exact same as what it was originally. I think he's just going to hope that it works better this time or something like that. I don't know.
Jesus.
Yeah.
This is just
brutal. Yeah, the whole situation, it doesn't make sense, but yeah, I guess here we are.
Yeah, I can see that in an appeal trial they do space out. If there's witnesses, they will.
They got him in there like they got him crammed in there like sardines, man. Just sitting there like he gonna be in a cell with 30 other dudes, and there's one hole in the ground where they can shit in. That's bad.
Space out the trial dates,
and that's not even the real jail.
2 to 3 months. So witnesses will make it take a little bit longer. Absolutely, I think Bong Bong and Youngman are going to return, because what's at issue here is how the judge interpreted their testimony, which it appears he misinterpreted.
And last time he also had help with Hank, and now it doesn't look like that's there anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those days are over.
Yeah. I think that's also going to negatively affect this current trial, because didn't Hank testify for him in his favor?
Yeah, we both saw a great effort on Hank's part to run cover for Johnny in October.
Why would he do this?
We saw it right before our eyes. In 2 different court cases, spaced a week apart, he testified in a way that was favorable to Johnny, and he helped bring about that settlement with Youngman. Mm-hmm. And he signed it as well.
Correct. Yeah. And now he's probably gonna have to go into this trial without Hank. And could Hank be called?
You for a
and
character
what
witness?
Happens if Hank's opinion is flipped on Johnny, and he now has to testify, and he could testify against him?
His inmates will be friendly with him. I feel like they probably can't do shit in there.
That would be crazy.
That would be next level. That would be amazing.
Hank's autistic as fuck. Yeah, I think so.
It's possible.
There's something wrong with him.
Wow, we are living in interesting times, to put it lightly. I'm
really glad to see content creators that are these like serial harassers. I'm so glad to see them facing consequences for just being absolute fucking scabs on humanity. Like, nobody likes them. They're obnoxious. All they do is cause problems. Like, I'm so sick of them. I hate them so much. And so now to see one of them go to jail, like first it was Vitali, he got out of jail. Nowadays, I bet he wishes he was probably still in jail. And, now you've got Johnny. So we need to do this in America. That's what I think.
This happened. I actually can't believe he was sentenced to begin with. That was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Because I'm just so used to all these streamers getting let off with a slap on the wrist.
It pisses
and a lot of people
off.
are arguing that his sentence was a slap on the wrist, but regardless,
at least he got
a guilty verdict, and he was actually sentenced to prison with labor. Mm-hmm. And now
he got put on sex offender list.
He's immediately kneecapping himself by making his sentence even worse by appealing.
Because he's stupid.
But I guess it would have happened inevitably, because now the prosecutor also appealed.
Yeah, he's stupid.
Does that change anything that both parties appealed?
I will reiterate my opinion that I think that we should have a deal with Kim Jong-un where we get to send people that we don't like to North Korea. And they just get to live there. And that's it. That's literally the deal. They get to. It's like the new Australia.
It will be one trial. So it's not going to be 2 separate trials. And yeah, everybody out there who should know that this is very significant, because the chances of him serving only those 6 months are now almost zero. They're very, very small. So it's not exaggerating to say that he's going to serve longer. And if the prosecutor wins, it's going to get closer to that 3 years.
Breaking up rocks on the moon? I like that.
And someone's asking also, is there a chance the judge will give him the 3 years now, because they might take offense by him being ungrateful for the light sentence to begin with?
Judges make their decisions for all sorts of reasons. If they say it's only for the justice and complying with the law, that's you know, sort of wishful thinking. But I think I think a judge. I think any reasonable judge or any reasonable judgment would be a lot closer to that 3 years, because no matter how I've run so many scenarios with how you take these crimes and the factors that aggravate, many of which the judge didn't even think about or mention, right? And there should be no mitigating factors. Right. There's no mitigating factors here. Then the mitigating factors that the judge came up with are nonsense. So I think any reasonable judge would decide something closer to those 3 years. However, I had a theory about why this judge may have given such a light sentence.
Why?
And it could be because his thinking is, all right, he deserves a very harsh sentence, but I'm going to kick the can down the road. I don't want to be the one to do it. I'll let the higher court make that decision.
Oh, come on.
So it's like he takes the burden of the decision off himself. He's like, I'm going to give such a low sentence that it's obviously going to go to the higher court, and then a panel of 3 judges will make a decision.
Wait, so you
that's just a theory.
Well, that could be a good idea. That like he did it intentionally to force it. Okay,
we're never going to know.
Yeah,
we'll never.
So
know.
now, okay, so in the appeal court now, there'll be 3 judges instead of 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Do you think that helps or hurts Johnny?
Hurts for sure.
I
Definitely.
think
Come on.
It hurts because if this had been a panel in the first case, I don't think 2 other judges would have agreed with that judge. Exactly. So I think that is to his disadvantage.
Right. Well,
he did with the higher court.
Do you have anything else to add before we hop off?
Yeah, sure. So the prosecutor submitted their appeal today, but they also submitted their grounds for appeal document, which they didn't have to submit today. They have a month to do that.
Isn't it crazy that Johnny Somali is making more content for more people by going to jail than streaming? It's kind of crazy to think about, but it's not even remotely close.
Because that takes a lot of work.
This is much more entertaining.
This judge is going to be very aggressive. That they really prioritized this case. They got their grounds for appeal in right away. And Johnny's grounds for appeal is also due within 1 month, but we won't find out what's in that until the trial begins, which is around September.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know what the grounds for appeal was?
We'll find out at the first trial.
Okay. Because we have the statement from the victim's legal counsel here.
That's right.
And the gist of that was, it was just too weak.
Jesus.
Yep.
Because like the ending sentence was after consultation with the victim, we decided to submit a formal request.
After he gets sentenced for 3 years, I'll be happy.
The prosecutor's office
only until
urging
then.
An appeal, given the impact of the court's reasoning on the humiliation may have on the sentencing standards in future deepfake cases. We believe this matter must be reviewed by a higher court. We hope this ruling serves as an occasion to heighten public awareness of personal rights violations committed through online platforms and of deepfake-based offenses. Wow. Okay, so that was the update for now. I'll be linking Gabe's channel down below. Please check him out because he's been extremely helpful in this entire case.
I hope so.
And I'll see you guys in the next stream.
That is really fucking funny. I did not know. So basically, he tried to get his sentence reduced, and he basically guaranteed that it would be extended. I love this. Oh my fucking God. Johnny Somali's appeal, 1 year of detention hell. Oh man, this is perfect. Hopefully it gets worse for him, right? And the thing is, you've got to keep in mind is that there's a good probability that Johnny Somali will do something stupid in prison to extend his sentence even further than that. So guys, you have to remain optimistic. And if he ever gets out, I will be very, very sad. I will. I think the U.S. should get rid of his visa. I think we shouldn't let him back in. He's a citizen? Well, not anymore. How about that? And I think we need to do that a lot more. He activated the judge's trap card. Yeah, what a fucking idiot. Why would he even do that? He had other crimes that that Coyote will probably charge against him still. Yeah, you really have to be an asshole for have other Americans advocating for you to be detained longer in a foreign country? Yeah, I agree with you. I do. And I'm happy to see this. I am. I'm very happy. And I'll give the video a link, and you give it a like. And I watched a lot of these. He's been covering Johnny Somali for, like, what has it been? Over a year now at this point. It's been a really, really long time. And I haven't watched any of these for a while. It's been like 3 days. I will watch another one of these tomorrow, okay? I don't want to do one today, but we will do one tomorrow. Wouldn't it be crazy if the USA revoked his citizenship? It would be crazy, and it would also be completely justified. I would be exactly very happy about this.
Pragmata, it's making thousands of people suddenly want to start a family. You place Hugh, a soldier, stranded on a ruined lunar research station. His job is protecting the childlike android Diana while fighting rogue AI. It's out already? Is it good?
Yes, good.
Isn't this like Death Stranding? In one emotional moment, she gives him a crayon drawing of the two of them together as a little family. Even streamers who say at the start they didn't want kids end up breaking down happy in tears.
He's not played. No, I watched him play it last night. He played it last night.
So what's really interesting about this is all of these
How are you going to find a way to get mad? Let's find out.
Unfuckable losers in the gaming sphere always talk about like starting families and stuff. And I don't understand like why this has become a thing that they care about. Like if you're a gamer, you should care about things that you actually experience. You should care about things that you actually enjoy, right? If you're a fucking lonely gamer who has never been around a woman and will never...
What year is this? Like, I mean, I knew Hassan was getting old, but this is really bad. I mean, this is like a comment that like a 60-year-old man would make. I mean, really, like, oh, you know, you play them video games, you ain't know what a woman is. Not like me. Isn't it like it's an unk take. It is. This is crazy. How are you not even 40 and you're doing this?
Ever have sex with a woman? Why do you care? Like, why do you care about having children or like riding for having children? Like, if they change,
well, because maybe they want to. Like, I don't know. I feel like doesn't that make sense though, right? I mean, like, if they would want to have kids, then that doesn't mean that like. A lot of people that can't get a girlfriend or something like that, I mean, you know, you could say it's their fault or there's like 50 different reasons why, but a lot of them want to have that lifestyle. They just think that for whatever reason, they're not able to.
Hot Cheetos. If they change the recipe of Hot Cheetos, if they change the recipe of like, I don't know, Dr. Pepper or something, and you fucking freaked out about
well, speaking of that, if you look at these Hot Cheetos, you see, you know the bag, it used to have $1, like the $1 printed on the side here. And remember that? Remember that? You go to 7-Eleven, you go to Quick Trip, and you see the $1 printed right there on there. Where is it? Where's the $1? Oh, that's right. It's not on there anymore because it's 3. It's fucking ridiculous. No, the reason why we're not talking about Hot Cheetos is because the conclusion is already, we've already arrived at the conclusion. And Dr. Pepper? Well, I don't know. Like, so my dad used to always get 4 12-packs of Dr. Pepper for $10. He'd wait for them to go on sale. Now, you get 1 12-pack of Dr. Pepper for $4. Or, sorry, for $10. It's insane. I think he's totally wrong about this. We talk about these problems constantly.
that makes sense, right? Like, that's precisely what your life is about.
Yeah.
But as far as like,
just like, you know, he's talking about me, by the way. Like, I mean, this entire rant is just a proxy rant about me. He's thinking about me. He's talking about me. It's entirely about me. So just keep all that in mind, okay, guys? It's very important not to forget.
LARPing about starting families and whatnot.
Right.
This is something that I never understand. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, maybe there's people that want to start a family, they feel like they can't for just, you know, like any reason. Who knows?
Me? Because it's just not something that you're going to experience.
Isn't it crazy that, like, these people in Japan were like, oh, let's make a cute game with, like, a guy that, like, helps this, you know, kid robot. And then, like, these Americans are like, well, I'm not a breeding slave. You can't tell me what to do. Oh, this is destroying the Foids. The Foids can't handle this video game. It's sending them back to factory settings. Oh, what? You think having a kid is like this? What are you? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's an older guy with a young girl. Oh, I know who's into this. Fucking weirdos. Like, really? Imagine you make something like this, you send it over to North America, the Goyim have gone insane. They've completely gone crazy. I don't know what's happened.
Ever for your life, for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah. You're just sitting here quietly?
Also, I will say,
okay, what?
Japanese game, putting a child in there.
You really had to think about, this is the like, I am actually the least racist person on this website. It's crazy that I am the least racist person. Oh, man.
You're playing with fire, okay?
Why?
Don't get mad at me for saying this, but I feel like any Japanese game you put like a child. Yeah.
And you know those Japanese, they're gonna love it, right? I mean, right, bro? Like, so true. Because, you know, they're weirdos and shit. They're like little kids. I mean, just say it. Just say, that's clearly what you're implying. That's obviously what you're implying. Just say it. Meanwhile, if I say the same thing about Iran, where they can actually marry kids over there, oh, no, I'm terrible. Oh, you can't say that. I can't do this. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. What are we doing?
It's gonna invite
It's gonna invite
maybe the worst possible.
He's right. Look at this video game and they'll be attracted to the character. That's true. Yep. I think the solution to that, and the thing is, it happens with adult women too. I think the solution to this is to just not have them in video games anymore. Just take them out. Because we shouldn't have young women, right? And then also women that are older, they didn't consent to being sexualized. So I think that the only natural solution to this is that we just remove women from video games, period. And that way, there's no way this could happen. I think that just makes sense, right? Just only guys. Like, every game is Gears of War.
A fandom, you know? I know it's not like that. I'm sure the game is not like that, but there will be people who take it like that.
Well, I guess that means there's something wrong with the game. I mean, if there's a weirdo that turned the game into something weird, that means it's the game's fault. And, you know, there's an implicit, you know, guilt with Japan. Like, oh, well, I mean, don't we? We have, listen, no country has a monopoly. Like, Japan has this problem, we have this problem, Iran has this problem, Russia has this problem, China has this problem, Europe has this problem. Everybody has this problem. We all have this problem. So it's just so weird to get mad about this. It really is. 1.2 million views. He seems like a really nice, well-adjusted person. He's actually, like, how do you get this mad over this? It's really impressive. And this is why he's mad. Why is he mad? What is this? An archive post. What is this? For some men, treating hair loss Come on, bro. Like, really? Like, oh no. I mean, I don't know about that. I'm not sure. Other pragmata shit as well. Genuine white supremacists read bio. What? Why is this game, like, why is a grown black woman playing the role of a small white child? I believe in the 14, not the 88. Okay, you don't like Hitler, but you like white supremacy. Okay, got it. I'm just saying, the authentic casting cretins have been real quiet lately. And then, so apparently she was voiced by this black woman? Okay, yearning, yearning, sensitive young man. Half-breed. You're calling yourself a half-breed? That's just, I mean, guys, what is this fucking, is this Lord of the Rings? Like, a half-breed, like, oh my God. What is wrong with these people? Like, we need to do something about voting before it gets too out of control. It's very obvious that, you know, something is wrong. Something is very clearly wrong. And I don't know what to say. Trump is going to expect the Supreme Court to betray him and rule against his birthright citizenship executive order. Well, then just do another one. Do another one the day after, right? It's pretty simple. And it's really that's what I would do if I was them, right? Just do another one and ignore it. Checking the IGN Mouse PI, they gave it a 6. I'll look at that. What the fuck is wrong with these people? The official Pragmata account blocked me for making a post calling out Diana's censored design. They did? They blocked you? That's it? I mean, let's be real. It's just really weird, man. It's really, really, really weird. Like, who does this? What a sicko. Yeah. I mean, again, like, you're sexualizing a character that, like, why are you trying to look up the skirt of a 7-year-old, you know, portrayed girl? Like, why would you do that? I mean, I know why. It's because you're a fucking weirdo. Like, that's why. I mean, duh. Like, holy fuck. Like, yeah, it's just weird. Like, who the fuck does this? I wonder why they blocked you. Yeah, some of these people are just sick, man. They are just fucking sick. And why can't people just be normal around this game? I told you why. I gave you 50 different reasons. Check that guy's hard drive. Over the top stupidity. This is a false flag. Which well played, but they need someone to point and look at, hey, this game is for creeps. There are tons of weirdos that are into a game like this. There are. Like, but the thing is that there's going to be weirdos that are into any game with an underage female character. That's just what happens because there are weirdos that are into underage female people, right? I mean, I don't know why we have to constantly talk around this obvious reality. Like, yeah, there's going to be weirdos that are into that because they're fucking, yeah, they're mentally ill or they're fucking freaks. I don't know what to say. Anyone attracted to Diana is attracted to a hyper-realistic model of a 7-year-old. There's no sugarcoating it. Yeah, I don't think so either. Nick Shirley revealed in a video about Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar will be released soon. This is going to be good. It better be good. I'm ready for that. But again, none of it matters until she gets deported, which is what I really want to say. Weirdos do it with fucking animals, no escaping. Yeah, I know, it's gross. Pragmata is okay, guys, come on. That's not okay. They haven't even done that yet, and everybody knows it would be Bella Ramsey and not her. I don't know who that even is. And what is this here? Definition of locked in. Woman won a Mortal Kombat tournament while holding her newborn in her arms just 5 days after giving birth. I remember seeing this when it originally happened. I thought it was fucking funny. And ex-girlfriend gone crazy. Uh-oh.
I'm told to pick me up now.
All right. I feel bad for her kid. Let's see it.
You don't tell me what the fuck to do no more, bro. Fuck no. Look at this crazy ass bitch. Stop! Stop! Ali, chill the fuck out, bro. Bro, what the fuck? Really, bro? Really? Really? Chill! 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 Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Ali, chill. Chill, bro. Chill. Chill the fuck out, bro. Really?
Oh my God.
Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Get away from me. Get off me, bro. Get off me.
Fucking care.
Get off me, bro. Please, stop.
Then fucking delete it.
Delete what?
The fucking phone.
What do you
Delete
mean?
it now.
Oh my God.
Wow. Throws a fucking brick through the window and runs in the house. Oh my God, jailer? I know. Like, what a sicko. What a freak, man. Just knock her out? You can't do that. It's a woman. And where's the self-defense part? Unfortunately missing. Very, very unfortunately missing. I'm sure he'll go to jail for multiple years because of this. I'm tired, boss. What is this? Pragmata is a psyop to counter decades of anti-natalist propaganda and bring up global birth rates. You guys don't want children, you want pets? Oh my God.
Effectively the most latest model, the most powerful model that a company called Anthropic made, and it's so powerful that according to them, compared to their most recent release, ladies and gentlemen, their recent release pales in comparison to this. So just on their benchmarks, you can see that Opus 4.7, their magnum opus, is sitting at like 64.3% for agentic coding. 77.8% is what their preview for Mythos is. Cybersecurity vulnerability, 73% as opposed to 83.1%. No,
this girl went into, she was a DoorDash delivery driver, and basically this girl is the most pathetic version of Amber Heard that you could possibly imagine. She goes into a guy's house. The guy's passed out on the sofa with his pants kind of down. You can't see his dick, by the way. You can't see it. I looked for it. I did. You couldn't see it. And in the process of that, she records this man without his consent while he's incapacitated and also naked, posts it publicly to a social media platform, TikTok, and then some people accuse her of opening the door and not just simply leaving the food at the door like she was instructed to. So she went inside, leaned inside, and was filming. And she has now racked up 2 felony charges for doing this. 2 felony charges. Justice is being served. And it's about damn time.
Hey guys, I just lost my job. The police are doing nothing. This is a man's world. I'm the victim. Remember? I'm the victim.
You haven't even begun to become the victim. It's going to get so much worse. You're not even close to being the victim yet.
Olivia Henderson, aka DoorDash Girl, is absolutely finished after her criminal indictment has come down. And now she's going to have some major legal consequences. We're going to talk about that today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney. This is a Fast Facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. So for those that may have missed it, this is our defendant here today, Olivia Henderson. She's the DoorDash Girl, and she became quite famous when she entered she essentially pushed open the door on a house that she was delivering DoorDash to.
It's uncertain whether she pushed the door open. That's my understanding, but maybe he knows something about it that I don't know.
And she saw a man inside that was half naked. Now he was passed out from alcohol consumption, as the facts will later go.
And there it is. Pass the fuck out.
That's fucked up.
That's fucked up.
But indeed,
I wonder
Olivia
if she's gonna be okay after that. I mean, like, I'd probably,
claimed, hey,
I
this
think she
man
needs $1 million.
SA'd me,
Yeah.
right? And this guy was out
yeah. She said she was sexually assaulted, not harassed, assaulted.
You're essaying me, and therefore the police need to come. Everybody needs to pay me. I need to be
A pathetic, uglier version of Amber Heard.
I'm the victim here. She's claiming to be victim.
I'm the victim! Remember? I'm the victim!
Well, despite her Me Too-esque claims, it in fact was her who ended up getting in criminal trouble because of this. So Miss Henderson here, Olivia Henderson, was arrested after recording and posting images of the man on TikTok. So
Which is also, by the way, on TikTok, I don't know if you guys know this, but you're not allowed to post nude videos of strangers that you've recorded inside of their own home. So, like, if you're thinking, I know you might have been thinking about doing this, don't do it.
took those images, took those video, posted on TikTok. It got all around, right? People were able to see the man, see his house. In the original video, his house number was visible. So you had all of that visible, exposing his location, his person, you know, him while he's passed out unconscious.
I'm going to keep telling my story. Like, this is the only justice I'm getting. Is
well, now you can tell it at the court.
Exposing this man and having posted that video and it has gone viral. Like, now he can live with shame and embarrassment if people have seen it and knows who he is.
See, that's the problem, is like, and I guarantee you that her saying that is going to be so bad for her, because like that's actually part of distributing pornographic materials that are recorded about people like without their consent. Like, I mean, she's literally like, this is like saying like, I'm premeditating the murder. Right now, I am premeditating. Later, I will murder. Right now, I'm thinking about murdering. And then I will kill. You know, like,
or where he,
you're just,
you know what I'm
you're saying it.
So she was arrested on that back last year. And it's been quite a while, but she was finally indicted by a grand jury that's just citizens that are drafted out to do the indictment instead of the district attorney. There's kind of those two different methods of bringing an indictment on two felonies, one of unlawful surveillance and another of distribution of the unlawful surveillance image. And that's absolutely huge news, and that's absolutely something that was breaking right now. But one thing that very few people are talking about, we're going to talk about today on The Legal Mindset, is the massive civil liability she now clearly has under New York state law.
That's right.
Let's get right into it.
Doing this, like, there have been so many laws that have been made in the last 10 years. Like, I actually support revenge porn laws because, like, we want the hoes to send pictures, right? We want this to happen. So, like, but if you've got every guy that's posting it up all the time, then it's going to create an ecosystem where they don't want to do that. Right? Because you don't want to end up on, like, you know, like one of these accounts on 4chan or something. So I don't, and also, like, fundamentally, sharing revenge porn is bad faith behavior. It's malicious, bad faith behavior that's aimed at trying to hurt another person. And it's abusing this person's privacy at the time.
So let's look at the indictment and the charges that kind of rolled down. So here you see the file from the New York State with Olivia Henderson, birth year 2002. You see the indictment, the incident was on October 12th, 2020.
She was born in 2002? I'm going to be honest, guys. Like, I am really, really upset about the idea that there are adults walking around in today's world that were not alive for 9/11. Like, that to me is like, what the fuck? Like, how did this happen? Really? Like, I'm like, what the fuck, man?
2005. The arrest was in November by Oswego City Police. Her defense attorney, she's going with the public defender's office. She does not have anything but a public defender at this point.
What a surprise.
And obviously the assistant district attorney is on the other side of that with her next appearance there in May. So all of that's coming up. She's got this indictment, which
if
means
the judge wanted to be super based, he would live stream the trial because I want to watch it. It's just really for me.
Hey, a grand jury felt there was enough evidence to proceed on this, to bring her to trial. And what that also means to me is not only is this going to go forward with felonies, but also there's potential civil liability. Now, why do I think that's a big thing?
It's obvious.
That's a huge thing because this is her first time offense for the criminal charges. Those will probably be light. As much as everyone wants to say this might be 8 years.
He's right. I mean, he's totally right. I mean, she's a woman too. I mean, like, and by the way, being a woman is like a massive buff in the criminal system. Like, they literally have, like, you want to talk about like two-tier policing? There is two-tier policing. It's for men and women. Like, women receive like exponentially less sentences than men do for the exact same crimes. It's so fucking unfair. It's crazy that we let this happen.
In prison, etc. It won't
That's
be.
true.
This will probably be a slap on the wrist at best with probation or a split sentence. The criminal charges are honestly going to be a joke when it comes down to it, and she's probably going to enter into a plea deal. But when you look at the civil side and the potential civil liability, particularly under the special New York law that nobody has talked about so far, that is absolutely going to destroy her. So, turning over to that, after we look at the charges here, once again, the dissemination of a surveillance video and the unlawful surveillance, when we turn over to the massive liability, we look at New York Civil Rights Law, Section 52B. This is for allowing a private right of action for non-consensual dissemination of intimate images, otherwise known as, people know it as revenge porn.
That's right.
Now, this statute is not just for stuff posted online. It's not just for ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends. It's really for any sort of image that is being posted without somebody's consent. And it
like voyeurism, upskirt photos, stuff like that.
Covers directly on point secret recording like this. This is something that fits spot on with this and the posting of unclothed bodies without consent. And mind you, this situation, it's very interesting because of the genders and people not coming to think of this. But if the genders had been flipped here, if that had been a woman inside and a male DoorDash driver, certainly I think people would have thought about this civil liability right away. But I think perhaps people thought, okay, because it's a man and there's essay thrown out, there's this kind of Me Too-esque allegation, we're not going to think about this. But this is very, very direct and very, very on point. And this allows for massive injunctive relief, compensatory damages, punitive damages, and attorney's fees. And because of that, this will absolutely ruin her life. So let me jump over to my judgment. So Olivia is likely going to enter a plea deal or a verdict with a light sentence as a first-time offender. The felonies are not going to land her 8 years in prison. She'll probably get a couple months at best. More likely, she's going to get probation and some sort of time outside of prison, maybe community service, etc. She's not going to be serving the 8 years. However, if this man brings a civil lawsuit using this law, and we're just talking about this one law, they could potentially recover $500,000 in compensatory damages and up to $2 million in punitive damages just on this. That's kind of an average.
And keep in mind, like, she's never going to pay any of this money. It's never going to get paid. So what's realistically going to happen is that she is now going to have her wages garnished. She's going to get debuffed for like years, if not decades. Crazy, crazy debuff.
Outcome when you've got something that has gone viral, that has been widespread on the internet, that exposes his name, very intimate, obviously intimate details, his location, etc. All of those factors point to a massive claim. And not only that, but this is very similar to the case of Vitaly, where Vitaly defamed someone, calling them made a criminal accusation, much as she made that Me Too-esque allegation about SA. In that case, and when we're comparing the two, in both cases, you have potential defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Those both apply here.
Same. And you heard the intentional affliction, and then that's her saying, "I hope he gets embarrassed, and I hope that like, you know, people make fun of him." Like, that's exactly like, dude, that's like, I'm premeditating the murder right now. Look at me. I'm stealing. Here I am putting the thing in my pocket. I'm not going to pay for this. Who does this?
Tally case, and
God.
same over here. So if you pile that on top of the liability under 52B, we're looking at potential multi-million-dollar lawsuit here that could absolutely ruin her. So I think in my conclusion that she absolutely deserves the maximum punishment. And this is something that needs to happen so that copycats don't try to do the same thing or try to post this information online. I think should be
a lot of these judgments need to be done as a deterrent. I think that's a huge factor, because if you don't have that deterrent, what happens is that now other people think that they can get away with it too. And now everybody's doing this shit.
Absolutely
you have to have
discouraged. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will catch you on the next one. Make sure you guys have got your cabbage plushies. They are still available now.
Reminds me of fucking Lost Ark every time I fucking see it, man. Like those. Did you know I collected every single Mokoko seed in Lost Ark? Like every single one. I got every single one. Every single fucking seed. I went through every map, every area. I got every single one. There's like one out of like 1,300 and something. I got every single one.
Get them at the link in the description and the link in the pinned comments. They are super soft, super cute, and they absolutely enrage Cabbage Boy, Ramsey Kalita Smile, Johnny Somali. So get your cabbages now.
That's nice. And you sound scared. Yeah, it's literally No Life Gaming. Yeah, why was it no? Why does it sound like No Life Gaming? Because it was. So anyway, I'm very happy to see her. I mean, again, a civil lawsuit is definitely going to be a lot more damaging for her. I think that it is extremely unlikely that we have an actual consequence for, this woman, like where she goes to jail. I hope she does go to jail. I think she should go to jail, but I find it to be unlikely that it will happen.
You know, I heard DoorDash recently added a new delivery status for their drivers. Instead of heading your way, now it's headed to prison. I don't know if you guys heard about this update.
This is Olivia Henderson. She is 23 years old from Oswego, New York. Back on October 12th, 2025, she was working as a DoorDash driver. And while working, she picked up a Wendy's order and delivered it to a customer in the city of Oswego. Apparently, that customer had selected the option to have his order left at the door. This is important for this case.
And my customer requested that their order be left at their front door. And when I arrived at their house, their front door was wide open, and they were within eyesight of the front door, laying on the couch indecently exposed to me.
However, this conflicts with some reporting that's out there saying that the man actually has ring footage that shows her pushing the door open to see inside his home. And
I didn't know that.
And police would apparently later determine through their investigation that this man was incapacitated and unconscious due to alcohol consumption, and that therefore the assault couldn't even have happened in the first place. Now, a reasonable person walking into a situation like this where you have a customer that is unconscious on their couch, half naked, probably would have just set the food down and walked away. 100%. And if the door was indeed open, they may have just closed the door for the guy, or maybe even called someone to check in on him to make sure he was okay. But Henderson pulled out her phone and recorded him instead.
Stupid.
That's fucked up. She then uploaded that video to TikTok with no censorship over his body, and she included his first name in the caption, not to mention the front of his house. And this video racked up nearly 30 million views before TikTok finally took it down. And then she uploaded it again before TikTok took it down once again.
You guys, my account is currently at risk of being banned because I had to explain my story one time, right? They took the video down and gave my account a strike. So I explained my story again and censored the video that I have just so they can't take it down for the same reason. They took it down for the same reason again, and now my account has a second strike.
You know what I actually love that she's getting prosecuted, because you can't do this. And I think we're seeing a turning of the tides. Put in one in the chat if you agree. I think we're seeing a turning of the tides, because now we're taking it where people think that they can just be victims constantly. They constantly think they can be victims, and we're turning that around finally, where if you do things to other people, even though you think you're the victim, you're going to get prosecuted for it. And you know what else is crazy? Is the fact that you guys haven't downloaded Free Cash yet. You can literally scan that QR code and get $10 right now to play mobile games. Let me even pull up the website just so you guys can see. Let's go to Free Cash here, Free Cash Review. If you sign up, back off into this.
City Police Department investigated Henderson's claims, and they said that they reviewed independent video evidence from the scene. And on top of that, the man apparently cooperated fully and gave a statement. So the police concluded through their investigation that the man was incapacitated and unconscious on his couch due to alcohol consumption, and that no sexual assault
that's 2 felonies
had occurred. So on November 10th, 2025, Henderson was arrested by the Oswego City Police Department for recording the man while he was naked and then uploading that recording.
Yeah, it's just like being a peeping Tom. Like you're gonna get, this is a felony right here. It's just like recording somebody else, like even though their door's open, you're like recording them. That's peeping Tom behavior.
Full surveillance. That's
okay. She got charged with dissemination of surveillance image, unlawful surveillance,
for the act of actually recording the man with her phone without his consent. And the second count was dissemination of an unlawful surveillance image. That's for the act of uploading that footage to the internet. Then on December 4th, 2025, Henderson showed up at Oswego City Court for her arraignment, where she pled not guilty. After that, the case got transferred from Oswego City Court to Oswego County Court. And this is standard in New York for felony cases, as is the case in probably most states. In New York, city courts don't actually have jurisdiction to try felonies, only to do the most basic early appearances. That means that once it goes to a grand jury for an indictment, the case is automatically transferred to county court. So until that grand jury indictment, this case has kind of been in limbo between the two, although it seemed like it was being positioned to be transferred to county court. That said, for a while, it was still very unclear to the public what was really going on until now. And so here's the big update. Olivia Henderson has now been officially indicted by a grand jury in Oswego County. As you can see from her docket here, her case is now listed in the Oswego County court system under an indictment case number. And the charges, let's take a look. As I mentioned before, they are the exact same charges that she was originally arrested for. You can see that count 1 is for dissemination of an unlawful surveillance image, which is Penal Code Section 250.60. And then there's count 2, which is unlawful surveillance brought under Penal Code Section 250.45 sub 01. So the prosecution
not looking good, brother.
Has not diluted a thing. They didn't downgrade any charges. They didn't drop anything. They brought the exact same felonies to the grand jury.
Which is good. I think this is great. This is really going to set the tone for equal, I don't even know if this is the word, equal prosecution of women. Because if a man would have done this, he would have got hit with the full extent of the law. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. If a man would have done this, he would have got hit with the full extent of the law. But these female influencers, these young women, she's going to be taught a lesson here, and hopefully other women don't do this and always think they're the victim.
And the grand jury looked at the evidence that was presented to them and said, yep, there's enough evidence here. Proceed towards trial. So let's go over really quickly what a grand jury indictment actually is for anyone who isn't familiar. Similar to a jury that you see in a trial, a grand jury is a panel of people that are from the local community. And the job of a grand jury is to review the evidence from the DA's office and decide one simple question. Is there enough evidence to formally charge a person? Now, unlike a regular trial, grand jury proceedings are actually not open to the public. In fact, typically it's just the prosecutor there presenting evidence to the grand jury. The defense usually doesn't participate at all. So really what that means is that the grand jury only hears one side of the case here.
And I'll be honest, dude, she probably did not have the coin to afford a lawyer. And I know DoorDash wasn't appointing a lawyer. DoorDash probably wasn't like, hey, you know what, Olivia, we're going to hook it up. You know, we know you were delivering Burger King at midnight, but we're going to hook it up. We're going to give you one of our best. I know DoorDash is not doing this. DoorDash is like, yeah, terminate them, get them out. And she's like, what, a 23-year-old chick? She's going to get cooked by the courts. Because if it's her versus this guy, and they already have this mountain of evidence, it's not looking good for her, bro.
Okay, so let's talk about what she's actually looking at in terms of potential punishment now that she has been officially indicted. So both charges are Class E felonies. And under New York Penal Law Section 70.00, the maximum prison sentence for a Class E felony is 4 years. And because she has 2 of these charges, and because these charges are for 2 separate acts, one recording, one uploading, she could be looking at up to 8 years in prison if they...
This isn't looking good, brother. It's not looking good.
Run consecutively. And I know that a lot of people are really hoping that she gets the full 8 years because what she did was truly awful. This man...
Well, and dude, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let's flip it. If it was a guy doing a DoorDash and a woman was laying there unconscious on her couch, butt booty naked, with her Arby's meat flaps out, and he was bringing her an Arby's melt, you would want him prosecuted. You'd call him a creep. You'd call him a weirdo. You'd call him a peeping Tom. No different. Just because it's wrapped in a different body. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Prosecute her like you prosecute a guy. Men get prosecuted for stuff that's not even provable. Men have their entire lives tarnished and their entire careers ruined over false allegations and false accusations. Yeah. I think she should get hit. I don't know if she should have to do the full 8 years, but like she should get sentenced to the 8 years and maybe get out on 6. Prosecute her like you would a man. If you were to flip the script and she was in a man's body and that dude laying unconscious with his meat flaps out was a woman, y'all would, you know what I'm saying? They would sentence her, they would sentence him to the max. It would be no question.
Was unconscious in his own home, and he was in one of the most vulnerable states a person can be
That's what I'm
and
saying.
In so many ways, footage that gets uploaded to the internet is forever. And honestly, a lot of people
Yeah, it's forever because the thing is, she could have deleted it. It don't matter. People screen recorded that. It's everywhere. She just showed the clip.
Probably rightly pointed out that if the genders were swapped in this particular case, there would be easy outrage across the board about the defendant's conduct. Instead of helping him or just doing her job and walking away, she recorded his naked body. And then she put it on the internet for the entire world to see. And what's worse, probably most of all worse for her, because now this is evidence that is almost definitely going to be used against her. She said at one point on the internet afterwards that her purpose in sharing the videos to the internet was to shame and embarrass the man.
Like, this is the only justice I'm getting, is exposing this man and having posted that video and it has gone viral. Like, now he can live with shame and embarrassment if people have seen it and knows who he is or where he, you know what
I can't wait till they sit her little arrogant butt in court and she has to rewatch these clips of her talking all this noise out the side of her neck. I cannot wait, dude. She's just going to be sitting there just do-do-do. They're going to play these clips. She's going to feel like Dumbo, bro.
I'm saying? Like, I'm the one being punished. He's not getting in trouble with the police. He didn't lose his job if he has one. Like, what's going on with him? Why?
I'm gonna keep it that wow, chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Uber Eats is a side hustle. It's not a job. A job is something that usually has a 401k, PTO, sick time. DoorDash is a 1099 side hustle.
Am I getting fired? Why are my videos getting taken down and why am I getting strikes? Like, I'm about to...
Do you ever think that maybe you're in the wrong there?
Stupid. Lose my account. I was assaulted. I'm the victim. I lost my job. I'm the victim. Right? Is this making sense to any fucking buddy?
And that's on
Nope. It didn't make sense to a grand jury either.
top of what we said earlier about her seeming most upset about losing revenue from the viral videos that got taken down. She wanted those views, she wanted to get paid. So the intent to degrade and the intent to profit are both right there on camera coming out of her mouth. And that intent is really important for proving the case against her. So these admissions are incredibly damaging for her case. But all of that considered, here's the reality of sentencing. Henderson appears to have no prior criminal history. And to her credit, since her arrest, she's been fairly quiet on social media. She hasn't been making things worse for herself like many social media influencers who have run into legal trouble.
It's probably because she got a lawyer that was like, hey, shut up, okay? Please just shut up. You're digging, like, over all these videos, million, 2.4, 3.8, 4.9, 31, 5, 7, 10, like, she's darn near got 100 million views just right there. Like, yeah, shut your mouth.
And under New York law, the court has options beyond prison for sentencing, and those include probation and conditional discharge. So unless the DA and the judge really want to make an example out of her, there is a good chance that she'll probably get some form of probation. Do I personally love that result? No, but I'm
No.
simply looking at the reality of how these things tend to shake out. But consider the fact that even if she does avoid prison, if she ends up with a felony conviction on her record, it does carry real consequences. It can affect employment, housing.
Oh yeah, dude, you get a felony, you're cooked. You know what I mean? Like getting a felony is not a good thing, bro. Not a good thing at all. It could ruin your entire career.
So now there are a few possible paths that go from here. Path number one is one I mentioned, it's a plea deal. Honestly, this would be the smartest move for her at this point, in my opinion. If she accepts responsibility now, she likely gets a more favorable outcome than going to trial and losing. Because honestly, the evidence here looks pretty clear cut for the prosecution. And I think that if this case goes to trial, it ends with a conviction. And on top—
Oh yeah. No, if this goes to trial, she's absolutely cooked, bro. Take that plea deal. Take that plea deal, Olivia. Trust me, as a guy that's been in the system, I haven't been to prison. I've been to jail a couple times, but have I told you guys about my past? I got kicked out of high school because I was smoking weed on a band trip, and in 19, I got a possession of marijuana charge, and I was 21, I got a DWI. I really thought I was going to be institutionalized. My brother is. My brother straight up is institutionalized, bro. He can't stay out of the pen. He loves it in there. He loves his 3 hot and a cot. This man, my brother, half brother though. I have 3 half brothers. My dad had a wife previous to my mom and had some kids with her. And friends. I'm pulling up the comments from the previous video. But he's institutionalized, bro. He's been in the pen for 15, 20 years, it feels like. He's been in there for a long time. His whole adult life, he's pretty much been in the pen. He don't know how to operate on the outside. I was this close, chat. That close. You know why? I was raised by a single mom. I was that close to being a statistic, bro. So close. That's why I try to preach positivity into men, because once I figured out how to be a man and took responsibility for all the stupid stuff I'd done in my life, it was so much more freeing, bro. Instead of being like, oh, the man's holding me down. You know, everybody's just against me. It's just the world. I can't help it. No, dude, no. You're just a degenerate. And you like to smoke weed and drink alcohol way too much. You like to party. And I thought I was 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Turns out I wasn't. Very much so wait a minute. Pause. Penetrable by bullets. Yeah, bro, I got arrested those 2 times, and ever since then, ever since I was 21 and I had to do all those classes and stuff like that, I haven't been arrested again. I think I had a speeding ticket once in Austin, though. Or no, I was changing lanes unlawfully. It was something like that. I'm squeaky clean now, though, but I definitely do have a past. All right, let's get into, this is from Her Night Backfired, when the chick got the freaking STDs or whatever. There are the reasons, I'm going through the comments. There are reasons why over the centuries that promiscuity was thought to be a very bad idea. 100% Ken Riddle. Brothers, wear a rubber before you catch the magic in your Johnson. That's good. Looks like we have to relearn the lessons we learned in the 80s. Having unprotected coitus plus getting STDs equals an idiot. Stupid. I don't think the HIV plus girl was saying that the boyfriend was a drug dealer. She said he was working the street. I think he was a male escort. I don't know. I doubt that. What does some of the replies say? I thought that was clearly what he was. If I was an escort, it is likely I would sell drugs too. Dude, are there male gigolos? Is that really a thing, being a male escort? She should have listened to her friend. Strange spots in my body. What the F? I don't know why spring break is a thing. During my middle school and high school years, all I did during spring break was stay home, playing video games, listening to music, and helping out my parents with my stepdad's business. Exactly, bro. Luciano. Looks like the toxic Avenger. Oh my God. Biblical values are designed to keep people from hell like this. It's directly the wages of sin. Wow, there you go. I just wanted to come on here and say, ew. I don't blame you. No glove, no love. They don't even think about paying for the medicine for the rest of their lives. It's expensive or they'll be unalived. These phenomenon of these mids thinking that they are 10s is out of control. We need to start shaming degenerate behavior. 100% agree. I feel sorry for this younger generation. A hard lesson to learn. These people should indeed glow in the dark. HIV plasma girl sounded awfully urban. Sounds like she paid the toll. It's odd that African Americans are considered a minority when all the cities the guy listed except Miami have a higher population of African Americans than Caucasians. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. Lust is a deadly sin for a massive good reason. What the F? The infector. Oh yeah, that couple's insane. Being 18 and knowing nothing about HIV is a total failure of society. Dude, I agree. They passed a law in the 80s. If someone has HIV and knows about it, sleeps with someone and gives it to the other person, the giver can be charged with attempted. Oh my gosh. If that person pass away, he can be charged with manslaughter. The one eating the cake, her blood type is a donut. Oh my God. If we get rid of all the people with HIV, there will be no more AIDS. Oh my God. Sing mac and cheese explosion to crystal blue persuasion. The start of the video is just gotta catch 'em all, STDs. It's crazy work. That video was wild, bro. I can't believe that chick.
This 30-year-old Californian man who claims he's a wizard was just charged with 4 felonies after he was caught on a Ring doorbell camera having a delusional crash out and violently trying to break into a stranger's house. What is even going on here? And obviously, this went extremely viral, and the internet took this clip and ran with it and made so many viral memes that I would go as far to say is this is probably one of the most funny viral moments that we've seen this year. But not only did he try to break in, he actually succeeded when he eventually moved on to a sliding glass door on the side of the house. And he was only finally stopped when the homeowner actually returned home to fight him, armed with a shovel, after witnessing the intruder's meltdown on the Ring camera. And while it's obviously easy to laugh out the absurdity of some of the details of this case, like, you know, his outfit or the fact that he identifies himself as Harry Dresden, you know, the whole time throughout the encounter. And if you didn't know, he's a fictional private investigator and wizard from a series of contemporary fantasy / mystery novels called The Dresden Files. But unfortunately, I mean, the reality of this case is kind of horrifying, because now, in addition to being charged with burglary, assault with a deadly weapon, vandalism, and making criminal threats, the subject of today's video, 30-year-old Jason Thomas Nichols, is facing a 5th charge of annoying or inappropriately touching a child under 18. Which allegedly stemmed from an earlier incident. So essentially, the dude did a way better job at catching himself than Vitaly ever could. Because I guess the Ring camera incident just put a whole lot of attention on that. So you have Fairfield police, I guess, saying additional charge came after a witness reported an encounter between Nichols and their child on April 5th. And this obviously ended up raising that bail dramatically from what was initially set at like $35,000 to the new bail amount of $250,000. And then you even have Deputy District Attorney Stephen Talley arguing for a higher bail, citing the alleged threats and Nichols in proximity to the victims. Which makes total sense because, yeah, apparently Nichols lives right behind the very house he broke into while screaming threats. So obviously, he shouldn't be allowed to just return to the victim's neighborhood so he could just start trying to attack them all over again. But what he said was both terrifying and hilarious because the entire time he was freaking out and demanding entry to the property, he was, like I mentioned earlier, referring to himself as the private investigator / wizard and wearing a Demon Slayer t-shirt under a trench coat. Like, come on.
I don't know who you are. You don't belong in this neighborhood. That's for sure.
This is my neighborhood, though.
Yeah, I live there. I don't know you.
My name is Harry Dresden. Open the door. This is my neighborhood. Open the door.
I mean, it's easy to laugh at the guy in this situation, but also I can understand why anyone would be terrified. And I mean, the victim is honestly lucky that this happened in California, not somewhere like Florida or Texas, because he might have not left that property alive. But essentially what happened was on April 7th, Jason Nichols storms up to a home on the 1700th block of Burbank Court and knocks on the door. The homeowner was not home and starts talking to him via a Ring camera and can literally only say hello before Nichols begins demanding that he opens the door so he can make sure that everything's okay.
Hello?
Hi there, can you open this door, please?
For what?
I just want to make sure that everything's okay. There seems to be something going on.
What do you mean?
I don't know, I just figured I'd check on something.
That alone would piss me off because, like, who are you? How dare you insinuate that you would know best and that you need to gain access to my home? Like, what are you on about? And to make things worse, apparently his pregnant wife and child were inside. And of course, when Nichols is denied immediate entry to the home with no questions asked, he begins to freak out and kick the door so hard with his flip-flops that the recoil sends him flying back down the stairs.
Man, get out of my house.
Open this door. Where's your daughter, man? Where's your daughter, man?
What are you talking about?
Where's your daughter? Who's in there with you?
Bro, if you don't...
Door. Open this door, I'm breaking it down. You understand me?
I mean, this is straight out of a cartoon. What in the Looney Tunes is going on here? But as soon as this random guy starts questioning about a daughter without really knowing whether or not the homeowner even had a daughter, that's when alarm bells should be going off in your head, which I'm sure they were for the homeowner at that point. But clearly, this person isn't in the right mind, so he will likely do things a very regular angry person wouldn't. But obviously, his freak out was just so irrational and honestly funny that it just spawned so many memes of him online. Now, I mean, okay, but it's not totally clear if Nichols knew who was exactly inside this house or if he was just LARPing with his own, I don't know. He was just doing investigative work as the investigative wizard over here. But regardless, I mean, while the homeowner is arguing with Nichols over leaving the property, he doesn't know who he is, which leads Nichols to stating that his name is Harry Dresden.
Yeah, I live there. I don't know you.
My name is Harry Dresden. Open the door. This is my neighborhood.
And again, you probably wouldn't immediately recognize that name. I didn't. I had to Google it. But again, Harry Dresden is a fictional private investigator and wizard who works to protect the general public. So I guess this guy thinks he's a heroic wizard from a book series and has started doing house calls in his neighborhood. And I guess when he finally gains access to the house via a sliding glass door after his initial crash out, he's then pacing around inside looking for a victor.
Victor, you around? Huh? You like raping little girls?
And I guess we kind of have to assume that he's referring to Victor Sells, who's a human sorcerer and antagonist in one of the Dresden Files books called Stormfront, who Dresden confronts at his house, who did in fact have a daughter as well. So I mean, all of this is just so many layers of bizarre. I don't even know where to start. But I guess it all starts to make sense when you connect all those dots, but it doesn't make it any less freaky. I mean, the entire time, the homeowner is, like I said, away from home, but he very quickly turned back and was heading home after he witnessed the disgruntled wizard demanding entry to his house. Because again, remember, the homeowner's wife and child were still in the home and probably scared to death by this guy, pounding on the door and wildly screaming while threatening to kill whoever he thinks he's looking for. I mean, this is crazy. And again, to make things even worse, he actually got inside of the house. So the homeowner ends up returning to the home and gets into an altercation with Nichols and even arms himself with a shovel at one point to protect his family.
Get the out of my third room, bro. Walk the out. What's the third room? Walk the out. I'm telling you, I'm giving you a chance right now, man. What's the third room, bro? I'm giving you a chance. Get the out of my house. What's the third room?
I don't know who you are. You better get the
street at 1797 Kolob Drive.
I don't know who you're talking about, man.
Why do I hear screaming?
Are you military?
Yes.
Okay. Can you help me out? Okay.
Yes.
I understand what you're going through right now.
Yes.
Can you step outside?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Will. Thank you for asking. There's something going on this street, bro.
Bro, everything's fine. Please step outside.
Okay.
Well, sit there. Sit on the ground, please.
Yes, sir.
And this altercation leads both men to require medical attention for head injuries sustained during the fight. But luckily, no one is seriously injured. And I guess the fight is instantly de-escalated when the homeowner asks Nichols if he's a veteran, and he answers yes, and for some reason instantly relaxes and agrees to go outside. And that's when the story gets even weirder, considering the fact that this guy isn't a veteran. So I guess he just lied to the homeowner. Hey, are you a veteran? Was like his wake-up call suddenly. He was like, oh wait, what am I doing? This isn't the sorcerer I'm supposed to have a boss battle with. It just doesn't make sense. I feel like the more information about this case that comes out, the more bizarre it gets. But obviously, cops arrive shortly after and arrest Nichols and charge him with the 4 felonies and give him the original $35,000 bail. And then about a week later in court, the whole case gets escalated with a new 5th charge being tacked on. And, you know, that's the one that spikes everything to $250,000. And now, I mean, because of all this now, the dude is facing 19 years in prison. Wow. It's safe to say this case took a dark turn. Then on top of that, people are now finding clips of Nichols from a decade ago acting similarly erratic on a live stream, presumably set up by Shia LaBeouf. So, again, I don't even know what's going on with this case. I mean, everything is so bizarre about this story, but this, I guess, is leading people to believe that this guy is like some sort of 4chan conspiracy guy who now simply just gone too far, and he truly believed his delusions that he was busting into Victor Sells' beach house and saving his family and not just trying to mercilessly kill a child. Like, what is going on here? But thankfully, we never actually have to find out what he would have done because he was stopped. And now it's up to the justice system to do its thing and hopefully lock him up for a little while. But his new court appearance is scheduled for April 23rd, so I'll definitely keep an eye out for what happens and make sure to keep you guys updated. But if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
He's been having a bad time. He's really been having a bad time lately, huh?
This is just atrocious judgment, and I was glad to see many Democrats going online saying, we don't want this guy as the symbol of our party.
The other thing is just, I'm sorry, I look at this guy and it's like the thing that sort of made him percolate up outside of his own entity was the fact that he was abusing his dog on an internet stream.
I get this.
Remember that? Yeah.
Get the he was shock collar.
Yeah,
Playing the dog.
I get to say
They all know about it. That's the main dude. How is it that that's the one thing everybody knows you for?
you're not a fan. We got it, Sandra.
To speak any moment now at the White House. We are told that will be about health care. Just after a major
That's so funny.
rules on marijuana. We're going to have that for you next.
That's so funny. They had to cut it off. They had to cut it. That is, for the record, this right here is quite literally the
what is it?
This right here is the straight news coverage. Okay.
What?
This is the second time today. Expect primetime host to follow suit later today. Yeah.
Here's the reason why Collargate matters. And I think a lot of people, nobody's ever really saying this. It matters because it shows that if it's true, it's an indicator of a fundamentally non-American, non-Western value on a very, very deep moral level. The way that a lot of other cultures treat dogs is vastly different than the way American culture treats dogs. Seeing somebody do that to a dog is culture shock. And I think that the reason why it was so viral, I mean, besides the fact that he tried to hide it and cover it up, etc., is that it is like a direct frame indicator that this person is on a very profound level culturally un-American. That's a big reason why. I think it is. It's like Aspen. Yeah, different values. And so it reveals the facade. And that's one of the reasons why I think a lot of people talked about it. Sounds not going to like that one? Sure, right? You can say that. And he can say, oh, I love the dog. I think Hassan probably takes good care of the dog, right? I'm not saying he's abusing his dog. I'm not even saying that. But I'm saying that, like, you see that clip and you see what he's saying. It's obvious how people come to that conclusion. It is. It's obvious. Like, oh, but what about 50 other times? Like, I did this other thing with the dog. They're not seeing that. They didn't see that. It's hard to climb moral superiority. It's wild from the smartest dudes live now. What is this here? No. Palmer Lucky. I know everyone is busy talking about the New York Times interviewer smiling and nodding enthusiastically as Hassan Piker says the murder of Brian Thompson is understandable because he was guilty of social murder, but I want to focus on him electrocuting. He knows, bro. Everybody knows about this. Everybody knows. It's just, yeah. Well, oh yeah, isn't that the guy that shocked his dog? Oh yeah, I remember that. Yes. It's it's his legacy. It is. It's his legacy. Oh my, he posted the meme. Oh no. Oh my fucking god. I abhor my fucking dog. Oh my god. Shocked his dog. The best part is this particular incident inspired people to go back through his streams and find dozens more. The dog just caught its nail on something and all the people disappeared instantly. So he even knows the background. Oh, I went back to the basics, criticized him for what he does on Twitch. It was true back then when only terminally online gamers cared about him, and it remains true today. He knows the lore. Yeah, I mean, this guy, he's a real one, man. He is. And I like him. Wow. Yeah, suck 100 bridges. Yeah, bro. As I said, you know, go to 100 political rallies and you shock one dog. You're not a political activist. You're a dog zapper. That's it. Oh, my fucking God. And respect people, it should be illegal. I know. And yeah, from the fridge to the VV, Kaya should be free. It was really crazy. Like, he probably lost like 100,000 followers over that. It is fucking insane. And let me go back. I'll look at this later on, but let me finish this off because there were some more of these that happened too. The Whole Foods. This is embarrassing. It's honestly like one of the most embarrassing interviews that like he's ever done. It's so sad. We're gonna watch it. Y'all ready? You're not?
Currency scheme that people are engaging in.
Mm-hmm. Would you steal from Whole Foods?
You want to go first? Well,
right, guys.
I'm pro stealing from big corporations because they steal quite a bit more from their own workers. However, one thing that might even help your ethical dilemma is the fact that
By the way, like if somebody like got into Hassan's account and they said that, well, we're gonna try to hack into your account and then have the money from this corporation of Amazon go to us instead of you, I think that he would be upset about that. But they would be stealing from a big corporation. I think he'd be upset. Did you watch it yesterday? Is this the whole thing? And there's another one about the Luigi thing. And I'm gonna look at it. This is so cringe. Yeah.
Automated process that they design, these companies know will increase shrink, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually factored in. The lemons that you stole are factored into the bottom line of these mega corporations, regardless, and they still end
the whole thing.
free buses and also government-owned storefronts, and two of those policies.
Can one of the mods find me the Luigi clip about this? Because like that was the one I wanted to talk about.
This beautiful city is currently working on.
Would you encourage stealing in the same way from a Mamdani-run city-owned grocery store with lower prices?
I remember. Okay, I did see this whole clip. I thought there was more to it than that, but maybe not. Let me go. I will even watch the Destiny thing. I'll even look at this. Let me see if I find it. It's on your Reddit. I don't know if it is or not. Let me see this.
I can't with young people today. Like, it's one thing if you like can't afford food or something, but when it's all these like decently wealthy yuppies that are like, it's like their form of protest. Like, I'm gonna shoplift. Why? What are you doing?
Share your Netflix password.
I do.
I also do. Well,
with anyone.
For the longest time, I actually had someone else's Netflix password. That was my primary access to Netflix.
And now you share your own?
Yeah.
Would you get around a paywall on an article you're trying to read?
This is like the most bougie fucking, like, also, God, the Riz. I wonder if he actually tries to time, like, I'll wake up 20 minutes before this interview so my voice can be as low as possible.
Would you steal a book from the library?
Never.
The yes for the museum thing. All of this, you can just draw this on like the most slop lines.
Yep.
Wait, did he say yes? If they say yes, it's going to be because they have everything because of imperialism. So you should actually steal from every Western museum ever because imperialism.
No.
Would you steal from the Louvre?
Yes. The automated process that they design, these companies.
I don't even understand. Like, what is this? So they stole it, so I could steal it. Well, I mean, could somebody steal it from you? Like, how does this even work?
No, will increase shrink, right? So it's actually factored in. The lemons that you.
Why do they say shit like this? Like, it's just so obviously not true. Like, is some amount of loss factored into everything these stores do? Yes. But if everybody starts stealing,
it's going to go up.
Then obviously that number is going to go up.
And now everybody has to pay for it.
And that's not going to be factored in. Places are just going to close.
Exactly.
Like, it's so crazy that these cringe fucks, because they never shop at these like fucking poor places, right?
Exactly.
These guys are in all the nice neighborhoods. They never have to deal with the ramifications of any of the crazy shit they say. Like, this is why when you go to certain stores, like, everything is behind a fucking lock now. And it's just going to lead to more
exactly what I fucking...
shit.
Yes, see?
Don't play by the rules. We live in a society where there are billionaires, where the top 1% holds 32% of the net worth and the bottom 50% holds 2.5%.
Like, bruh, Hassan, you are that 0.001%. Like, does he not realize this? Like, how is he sitting here having this conversation?
Oh yeah, they're so bad.
Jesus Christ. You are the rich, bro. Yeah. Your family is the rich, bro.
The social contract is broken, and then there's also the slippery slope of what happens if we completely break the social contract and no one plays by the rules anymore. And I wonder where you two see the interplay of those two ideas.
Right.
Well, the rules are already designed in a way where if you steal from the poor, you become rich. If you steal from the wealthy, you go to prison. So there's only one.
That was so deep, dude. Oh my god, that was so fucking deep.
It's so stupid. It's
I can't with young people today.
It's so fucking stupid. I don't know how anybody thinks like this. Oh my god. And yeah, 7th grade logic. Yeah, this is like something I read. Oh, here we go. Okay, so let me see if I can find this. And oh yeah, I just wanted to put this whole thing into a single image because it was so funny. Israel lover wants another Israel critic murdered. What else is new? What the fuck does Israel have to do with it? What did Israel do? Okay, so this is the Luigi thing. Okay, let me pull this up.
Engels wrote.
All right, here we go. This is the other one I was going to watch it.
Engels wrote about the concept of social murder, and Brian Thompson, as the United Healthcare CEO, was engaging in a tremendous amount of social murder, the systematized forms of violence, the structural violence of poverty, the for-profit paywalled.
See, what happens when somebody thinks that Hassan is doing that when he's protecting people that are advocating for jihad? See, this is the reason why this system doesn't actually work. It's because when you apply it in a real situation, you realize that if you had everybody operating off of this, the whole world would be chaos. Like, because everybody is going to have a different definition of what social murder is. Like, for example, if you think that if you normalize the concept of social murder, that means that, well, now if people aren't giving you food at a store and aren't allowing you to pay for your food, or, you know, even though you don't have enough money, now they are kind of killing you because they're depriving you of nutrition. So in that same reasoning, you can come to the conclusion that it's okay to kill them. That's the problem.
System of healthcare in this country, and the consequences of that are tremendous amounts of pain, tremendous amounts of violence, tremendous amounts of deaths. And that was a fascinating story for me, because Americans are very draconian about crime and punishment. They're very black and white on this issue. And yet, because of the pervasive pain that the private healthcare system had created for the average American, I saw so many people immediately understand why this death had taken place.
Again,
Engels.
The problem with this is that the moment that you normalize political violence, you allow it for also yourself. This is the problem, is that I don't want to have any political violence. I don't want to have anybody advocating for shooting people in public. Because here's the actual result of what happened with Luigi. Luigi shot a guy in the back, and he killed him. United Healthcare is continuing on as a company. A new CEO is probably taking his place by now, and the company is probably operating about the same. And maybe the new CEO has more security. That's it. So it didn't even accomplish anything, really. Understandable and justifiable are the same thing. Well, and the thing is, well, what is this here? Well, oh yeah, this is what I just saw before. Yeah, this is the, yeah, I mean, everybody can come up with an explanation for why it's okay to kill somebody else if they're crazy. Like, this is the problem, is that the moment that you create a system where people feel like there are some acceptable forms of vigilante justice, what happens is that everybody now defines it in a different way, and everything is chaos. You can't have a world that works that way. You can't do this. Look at the United Healthcare stock. They're killing it. Yeah, how's the United Healthcare doing? Let me see here. United Healthcare. Apparently I looked it up at some other point. So 5 years ago, let's see here. No, it went down. It went down massively. Is this whenever the shooting happened? I actually don't know when the shooting happened. I have no idea. Yeah, it went down massively. Policy changes? I have no idea about that. This shooting happened on December 4th. Oh. Yeah, it went down a bit after that too, but it was also up really high. Like, it's kind of hard to say. So yeah, okay, apparently this was something else that had happened. So yeah, because Trump cut Medicaid, they get less money. I see. Okay, that makes more sense. And yeah, I didn't even know that. All right, good. Like many social justice activists, and again, the problem leftivism is lost. It's not about the working class opening the poor. It's about the violent destruction of anything, and anyone can be an enemy of their ideology. I think that also, like, whenever you greenlight any form of political violent extremism, you will have this happen, like, to people that you agree with, like it, and it will. Like Charlie Kirk obviously was one example of it happening to somebody on, and I can almost guarantee you that when some left-wing person gets shot, a lot of right-wing people aren't going to go out and say how sorry they are. They're not. And why is that? It's because all of the left-wing people decided to make Charlie Kirk into a meme and rationalize why it was okay to shoot an unarmed man in the neck. That's what it was. Trump did more damage to this corpo than Luigi? Yeah, of course he did. I mean, obviously, it's because Luigi didn't really do anything, and he's going to go to jail, and that's going to be it, right? There's nothing... There's nothing that matters, right? Supports terrorists, so he's not supporting political violence. Yeah, exactly. And so this is the problem, is that I think that Hassan should be very careful, like, making statements like this, especially as like a public figure, because people will see these statements and they'll probably view this as like a green light for people to harass him or annoy him or something like that. And I think that any form of political violence over a disagreement or over a law like that should be resolved with a legal dispute. And I think also, especially, I mean, you saw what happened. Like, Luigi did do what he did, and nothing happened. So, yeah, it's just embarrassing. And what you said about oppressing people that you know is going to hurt you, I see the same thing with political violence. I think that we need to be a lot more aggressive with suppressing political violence and political violent speech. I do. I think that we need to be way, way harsher on this, and I don't know why we're not. And I think that the fact that we're not a lot harsher around this is allowing people to just basically be crazy and violent and excessive and everything like that. And that video is very recent, by the way. Yeah, it was like a few days ago, right? Stop saying nothing happened. It's having reverberations within the culture. Well, what do you... So I'm going to pull you up. What do you, I mean, do you think that it's akin to saying Columbine kids did nothing? Well, they didn't. I mean, they didn't change anything. Like, yeah, now we have, so you're right. Luigi did do something. Let me be more specific. Luigi did not accomplish his goal. Luigi did not move people towards that goal. And this is the fundamental fantasy that a lot of these people live in, is that they think that all of these super rich and, by their own admission and accusation, sociopathic, evil, psychotic demons that are running these corporations are just going to decide, well, I guess they're going to kill us now, so that the jig's up, right? We're not going to play this game anymore. We're going to stop doing it. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to implement a new Patriot Act. There's going to be a higher surveillance state. There's going to be more controls over speech. It's just normalizing it more and more. Seen by the fact New York Times is interviewing Hassan about it. Yeah, sure. And I think that this is the problem, though, right? Is that what is the conclusion of that normalization? What do you think the conclusion of that normalization is? The normalization of political violence and accepting that. What do you think happens when you do that? It happens more and more. Well,
okay,
right. And what happens when it happens more and more? Like, yeah, duh. Like, so then what happens after that?
I understand the master players make this mistake. We have a way better rollout fight. I baited him too deep that the flash can't
like that's like I get it. I understand. I understand that's what you're saying. But like, let's think beyond that.
Rules.
Corpos respond accordingly. You're using ambiguity. Why are you using ambiguity? Be more specific. Yeah, I'd like you to be more specific about that. What is accordingly? Yeah, what is accordingly to you? Let's find out. I'm confused by what you're asking specifically. That's what he said. How do you think corporations will respond when their leadership and people are getting killed? How do you think that they will respond? Because you said that they will respond accordingly. What do you think that that response will mean? You're being vague.
Riot secretly added some weird math.
I think you're being vague because you know the conclusions of this.
So many players to
I think that you've worked out this logic path, and you know this does not end in a good
all
way.
your base movement speed, then multiply that by the sum of all the percentage buffs you have. For example, if you have 400 base movement speed and 5 ether wisps, you would get a
corporations
20%
won't be
increase and
hurt,
end
like
up
you
at
said. The United Health. I've never been pulled
actually
up.
how
Okay.
much you get, and it's because your
So,
speed is kept in check by the
what
most
I'm saying
intuitive
is that
system of all time.
this
You got
is what
it.
I
It's
think the
exactly
conclusions.
like
This seems like a
tax
misunderstanding.
There's
Who
two
cares?
thresholds you need to know: 415 and 490.
This is what I think is
below
happening.
415 movement speed is
I think that
tax-free.
the
Anything
more violence
415
and political
above
violence
is
that's
80%
accepted,
as valuable, and
the
490
more
and
you'll have
upwards is
people
50%
that
as
will
valuable. So, for example, let's
rationalize
say
and
you have a total of
justify
600
more
movement speed.
security,
The first 415
more
is free.
surveillance,
Then you keep
less
80%
freedom,
from
and
415,
more control.
490, and then 50% of the
I
rest
do
for a
think that a
total
lot
of
of the people that run these
And this should now make
corporations
things
are
painfully clear why we
completely
need an even bigger
sociopathic,
wealth tax on the
psychopathic
highest
people.
earning movement speed
I think that
champions
they
in the
are.
game to keep things
And
fair.
I think that's
Subscribe for more
exactly the
tips like
reason
these.
why you shouldn't do
Riot
it.
secretly added some
Because there's
weird
not
math
going to
the
be a
most
world where
important
those
stat in
people
the
just
game,
decide to
movement
lay
speed.
down
And this causes
and
so many players to
be
troll
good
their build
boys
because
now.
they have
Like
no
they're not going to
idea
do
it's
that.
balanced in the
They're
most
going to
ridiculous
back
way
channel with
possible.
people in
To
the
calculate
government.
it, you take
They're
all your
going
base
to
movement speed,
use
then
different
multiply that
tools
by
that
the
they
sum of
have
all the
to
percentage
manipulate
buffs you
public
have. For
sentiment.
example, if you have
They're
400
going to
base
shift
movement
the way
speed
that
and
people
5
see
ether
things.
wisps, you would get a 20%
I think that you
increase and end up at
vastly
408.
and tremendously
Except that's not
underestimate
actually how much you
how
get. And it's
brutal,
because your speed is
how
kept in check by
severe,
the most
and how
intuitive
effective
system
these
of all
people are.
time. You got it. It's exactly like tax brackets. There's
You
two
would be
thresholds
shocked.
you need to know: 415
And
and 490.
the idea that
Anything
like
below
Luigi, and this is the
415
problem,
movement
is that
speed tax-free.
you're thinking
Anything
inside of the
415 and
grounds of
above is
morality of what's
80%
right and wrong.
as
So there's no
valuable. And
solution.
490 and upwards,
There is fundamentally no solution to the human condition that the top 1% of people are so vastly like more resourceful, intelligent, stronger, more better at planning, better at resource allocation. Those small groups of people will always amass a disproportionate amount of wealth and power because that's the way that people are. That's it. And so they're ruthless and brutal on a level that you can't even comprehend. Like you can't even predict what a person like that would do, because again, like it's outside of the scope of what a normal person can even imagine. So tell them about isolated equate. Yeah, exactly. People have far too much power. They're too far gone. Well, what I'm saying is just like in a general sense, right? And it still has to be allowed. No need for collusion when self-interest converge. Yes, George Carlin. I agree with you about that. Definitely. And overall, like, is worth $8 million. That's a lot of money, right? Exactly. And my point is with all of this is that shooting people because they made you mad is a very bad way to do things. And if you do things and you base things off of that, you will eventually have those people shoot you. That's just what's going to happen. You should never allow that to go down or any sort of behavior to normalize this at all. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. So that's what my point is. Revolution always leads to a much worse situation. Well, they're just going to crack down on it more. You're not seriously suggesting that being rich means you're better? I think on average, that's exactly what I'm suggesting. I think that they are astronomically a lot smarter, more driven, more resourceful, and more motivated than the average person. And it's not by a 2x multiplier, it's like a 50x multiplier. Yeah. Are you suggesting that there's no correlation between IQ and wealth? Are you suggesting that there's probably no correlation between education and wealth? Or cognitive ability? Do you really think that? I mean, do you really think this? Like, and I know there are exceptions to the rule. Some people get born rich. Do you think I'm talking about them? Do you think I'm talking like I thought we're having a conversation like are you one of these people that like, you know, because you can come up with like an exception or something like that? Like you very clearly we're not talking about this, right? This isn't what's being discussed. So why are you bringing up this like weird exception that's clearly not part of the conversation? Like, why are you even talking about this? This is an exponential. The more money you have, the more money you make. Yeah, I know that. It's clear tendency. Yeah, what is this here? Managed to escape in good time. Be a lot to deal with. Yeah, I'm just gonna time this guy. I don't want to read it. I think it's not a clear tendency. It's not a clear tendency. It absolutely is. If you look at IQ and wealth, there's a strong correlation. Extremely strong.
is there matter?
If you trust physicists, then you're surrounded by virtual particles that constantly pop into existence and then immediately disappear. That sounds crazy, I know, and yet a new experiment just proved that virtual particles are real. That's a big deal for our understanding of empty space and just what quantum physics actually means. Let's have a look. Today's episode was made possible by Science, which is a subscription service for science experiments that I personally enjoy a lot. Science has lovely experiment sets for children and young learners. Renewable energy and a mini wind turbine. What I like so much about the Science kits is that they're really good in communicating the basics and sparking curiosity. Then you can go further with your kids. And who knows, maybe one day they'll have a PhD in physics and make YouTube videos. Better still, if you use my link and code SabineYear, you'll get a year of science for just $22.45 per month. This offer is valid only until April 30th, so go and check this out. And now, back to the science news. The question of what virtual particles are is symptomatic of the current problems in the foundations of physics. One perspective you can take is that it's just a weird name we give to some parts of the mathematics. It doesn't mean anything. Shut up and calculate. On the other hand, that math certainly looks very much like the things we call real particles, though with the caveat that they don't obey Einstein's E equals mc squared. Albert doesn't like this at all. For what the maths is concerned, we know that it checks out. The presence of virtual particles, for example, very slightly changes the electric field around an atomic nucleus. It's a tiny change, yet it can and has been measured. But does that mean that there are really particles there, popping in and out of existence? How would you even test that? This is where the new result comes in. It's a paper from the STAR collaboration at the Relativistic Heavy Ion Collider RHIC for short at Brookhaven Lab in the United States. For what particle colliders are concerned, this one is in the medium to high range. For this experiment, they used proton-proton collisions at a center of mass energy of about 200 gigaelectron volt. That's about 10 times less than what the Large Hadron Collider can achieve. In this experiment, they test a specific picture of virtual particles. You see, the strong nuclear force that keeps atomic nuclei together has a strange property. It's that it gets stronger the larger the distance between particles. For the electric and magnetic interaction and gravity, it's the opposite. They get weaker the larger the distance. A simple way to understand the strong nuclear force is to imagine that the two particles are connected by a string that can stretch. The more you stretch it, the more energy you need, and the harder it gets to stretch it further. This is, loosely speaking, where string theory originally came from. And this string is full of virtual particles and antiparticles. Now, in this experiment, they slam protons into each other. The protons are made of quarks. Some of those quarks get torn apart, and between them you get this highly energetic string of virtual particles. But if you pump enough energy into the string to push the particles, the quarks, further apart, you'll never succeed in getting a single quark. Instead, the energy becomes so high that the string breaks and creates a new particle and antiparticle pair. Then each of the new particles is bound again with other quarks. It's a consequence of what's called confinement, the reason why we can never see quarks in isolation. But this breaking of the string converts a virtual quark-antiquark pair into a real quark-antiquark pair. And that pair of quarks is now contained in two separate composite particles. In the paper, they look specifically at so-called lambda particles. These then decay, and from the decay products they can reconstruct the spin of the lambdas. And now here's the thing. The spin of the lambda pairs is correlated, which means that their constituents share a common origin. So this proves that the virtual particles were there and then became real. And yes, this process is very similar to how Hawking envisioned the particle production near black hole works, except that in this part the pulling is done by gravity. You can still argue about the interpretation. You can say the correlation came from the quantum state rather than from virtual particles. You can say the language of virtual particles is just a convenient way to describe that quantum state. the virtual particles aren't really there. But I think this is nonsense, because you could use the same logic to argue that real particles aren't really there. They're just convenient maths that we use to describe observations. For what I'm concerned, if the maths describes observations correctly, that is what it means for something to be real. If not, I'd like to reinterpret my text slip, please. So this isn't just philosophy. I think that the question of what the vacuum is matters for the question of what space is. Is there really anything more than virtual particles around us, or is the relation between the virtual particles themselves what creates space? I think physicists don't spend enough time thinking about nothing. The relativistic heavy ion collider, by the way, ceased operations in February, and Brookhaven is now building a new particle accelerator called the Electron Ion Collider. It's remarkable, foremost, for how little you've heard of it. Good thing you have me to keep you informed, though, so don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
Why is there matter in the universe at all? That's one of the longest standing questions in modern astrophysics. And the largest particle accelerator in the world may have cracked the egg of that question. Let's go back in time to when the universe was this seething soup of matter and energy. The energy manifests as photons, the matter manifesting as particles. In fact, they were matter-antimatter particle pairs. Anytime the photon has sufficient energy, it will spontaneously convert itself into pairs of particles, according to E equals mc squared. E for energy, m for matter. This is the famous Einstein equation from 1905. Not the reason why he was given the Nobel Prize 16 years later, by the way. So, the way it works is you start out with energy. If you're going to make matter, the matter has to be such that if you recombine it, you get the energy again. So when a photon becomes matter, it becomes a matter-antimatter particle pair. Then that particle pair finds each other and becomes the photon again. And this is that soup that was sustained in the early universe. Back and forth. Anytime there was matter, there was an equal amount of antimatter ready to re-annihilate and become photons again. The universe was happy in that state while it was expanding and cooling, until, for some mysterious reason, 1 in a billion conversions of a photon into matter-antimatter particle pairs made only a matter particle and no antimatter. For every 999,999,999 photons. And the dance card of one of those particles, a matter particle, went unmatched. So as the universe expanded and cooled, the matter-antimatter particles that could find mates became photons, stranding one matter particle. And that is the universe we live in today. There was some symmetry broken in the early universe. Symmetry laws are very powerful tools in physics that give us insights into phenomenon, experiments, time, place, pressure that you wouldn't otherwise know were it not for these symmetry rules. And if at any time symmetry breaks, oh my gosh, we better find out why. This has been a long-standing problem in modern astrophysics. As the universe cools, the energy of the photon systematically drops. When it drops below the energy of any